Focus. Find the power within yourself.
Waking up, chaos is reality. Sure enough, I'm unsure if I believe it. I have found that since the silent second dream faded away, I can't make heads or tails of what you say. Can you see it in my eyes? All the sadness that you despise. Does it break your heart to think I'm gonna cry? Does it break your heart to think that I regret to be alive? This emotion's the notion that sets things in motion. For greatness, for power, for peace and the vast open space. But I feel out of place, like time is out of phase. All because the void is taking my life away. Centuries ago, my past can't let go. I have a need to know, so won't you tell me? I'm waking up, and I just can't believe everything till now that used to define me. It's all gone, like history has been erased. Everything I'm fighting for, I'm fighting in its place. Doing much for me, giving me the chance to live. I know you don't need for me to tell you all of this, but something's gone, something's wrong. I'd give anything to return to then, to a time that's too long gone. Taking my life away. Centuries ago, my past can't let go. I have a need to know, so can't you tell me anything, anything at all, anything I was if you recall?
27 million registered losers, 27 million registered strong, 27 million registered losers, playing Warframe all day long. Did some relic missions today, ain't getting those drops, gotta grind it again. Just one little prime part away. No Ortis, I don't remember the old war. Did my sortie today, and I got frickin' endo again. Oh, when will I get that sweet ribbon mod? Pull the weapon that I wanna use. Never! 27 million registered losers, 27 million registered strong, 27 million
Hi everyone, we are here with a different camera angle today. We're all wearing black except Tom, so you didn't get the memo.
Go Leafs, go.
There you go. So we have a diehard Leafs fan on the team. There's some new faces. We have a lot of housekeeping to get through as well, but you are tuning into our 87th Warframe Devstream. We have a new crew with us today. Usual suspect, also a usual suspect, but why don't we let everyone know who you guys are, and then I'll go on to housekeeping. So first of all, who are you, sir?
I'm Steve.
Do you stream on Sundays by any chance?
If my ISP lets me. Last Sunday was not very successful.
Okay, all right. And a new face, number one.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I do not stream on Sunday.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, maybe I should.
And what do you do here at DE?
I'm the lead AI programmer. So it encompasses a whole lot of different things, but
So you're Clem's dad in a way, because you tell him
kind of, yeah.
in one way, one of the many,
father of
one of the
Clem.
many
Father of
parents of Clem.
Clem,
And-
I am your father.
Exactly. And at the end, we have
I'm Tom. Hi.
you've been on before.
I've been on before.
Yeah, but it's been a while.
A couple of years, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm a designer. I work on AI, and I work with the design team doing quests and game modes and events and that kind of thing.
Awesome. So we do have a lot of really specific stuff to cover today. We have a lot of your questions. We have a lot of new stuff and sort of changes to stuff that you already know coming. But there's some things you need to know right now if you're playing Warframe. The first is Double Affinity Weekend has just started on all platforms. So that means if you are playing Warframe this weekend on PC, PS4, or Xbox One,
I will be.
You will be getting Double
On
Affinity.
Sundays.
So that's pretty exciting. We also have a 24-hour alert on all platforms starting at 3 o'clock. So say you're in game and you want an Orc and Catalyst blueprint, you can get that today. You'll have 24 hours to get it. It'll be up at 3 o'clock. TennoCon, as you know, the date has been announced. It's July 8th. It's a Saturday. Tickets will go on sale along with hotel details soon, so we'll keep you posted. We will be recording our podcast after the stream today, so that's when we bring community members in to talk about stuff they saw today and other community things. And what's in the box will be the theme of today's podcast.
I think someone already guessed it was Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
All right. Sorry, Gwen. And if you're chatting right now and you're wondering, wait a minute, why can I chat without linking my Facebook account? It's because it's gone. The Facebook linking requirement to chat is no longer here. What is here is you must follow the channel in order to participate in the Twitch chat. So if you want to talk to us, give the little follow button a push, a click, I guess.
And that'll put you in the running for platinum?
No, you just need to be watching for plat. You have to be following to chat. So.
Oh, yes. Okay. I got a lot of questions about that
Yes,
a few
so
weeks ago.
there you go.
Fantastic.
As you guys know, we were kind of waiting to give you an update on the next round of TennoGen. We announced it last Devstream. It had lots of skins and helmets. And we are happy to announce that it's coming soon on both PC and console at the same time. So stay tuned for that, console player. We are officially at parity with this. So it's kind of
Crazy.
Wow, that's very weird.
very exciting.
Very weird.
Yes, and we have also Barrow Ketir. He visits the relays on Fridays, opposite Fridays to Devstreams these days. We are moving his time to 9 a.m. arrival as opposed to 1 p.m. We're doing this for a couple reasons, mainly infrastructure related, just to test some things to see what we can do to better optimize his arrival. 9 a.m. next Friday, Eastern time zone is important, is when you can expect Barrow, and that is going to be a 48-hour visit.
Yes. Barrow always kills our servers, basically.
Yeah, when you have the most eventful moment aligning with your peaks, it's
Yep.
scary
That's
times.
crazy. Yep.
Anywho, if you saw the bard dancing at the start of the stream and you think, she looks like a Warframe that I could name, and you're in the design council, you are currently being asked to throw your names for such a Warframe forward. So if you have an idea, you're in the design council, send it in the forums, and we'll take a look, and Dev will make a decision pretty soon on what to call her.
Yes.
Do you have any ideas?
You know, I don't have any ideas yet. But are we showing any of that today, or we're going to do AI deep dive?
Maybe we'll
Okay.
go into that at the end, but it's all.
Like, are you going to be showing?
I will
build?
be over there. So.
Because have you seen the effects when you're using Bard's powers
Yes.
now? It's like yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a disco light show, man.
yeah.
It's
It's a
crazy.
rave.
Have you guys seen the new
Warframe
one
rave.
where the floor
Yes.
is
I haven't seen
dancing?
that yet.
Yeah.
It's
So
a-
Jeremy
I saw a
hooked
picture
up.
of it, but
Yeah, he took the patch mesh from Nidus, but then hooked up the
oh wow,
frequencies of the sounds.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
It's-
And then he made like these weird columns. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I feel we probably should show it, but we'll see. Maybe I'll use it to test the new. Well, you'll know.
Yeah.
You'll know.
Yeah.
We also, if you entered the Prime Gaming giveaway, which over 250,000 of you did, so that's what you're up against.
Wow.
We are going to be contacting the winners by email in the next week. We're picking the winners today, then we're going to contact them. That was for the the next unreleased Prime Access, the gaming PC, the Prime PC, the Xbox One, the PS4. We're going to decide that today. There are 250,000 of you, so it's that's the odds you have. I know, it's pretty crazy. But that's
Better than the lottery.
Yeah, I know.
There you go.
It's better
At
than-
least it's better than the lottery.
So there you have it.
Yep.
And then 2 weeks from now, a lot of our fan channels and Warframe partners, those are the same thing, are going to be doing a charity stream. It's going to be a long one, so stay tuned for more details on that. It's going to kick off after next Dev stream 2 weeks from now. I'm so sorry. I have so much housekeeping. So that was it, though. We're done. And now we can talk about Warframe, AI, and enemy. And all.
All right.
Oh, yeah, let's give away platinum. Yes.
Yeah. Let me see if I got it right this time. I think I'm supposed to point like that.
Yes.
I always get them backwards because I'm seeing myself
Seeing
in
in
reverse. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you are tuning in and you want to win some sweet, sweet Warframe platinum, this is the first of many prizes today.
Yep.
So let's see who's going to be. I bet it's going to be DE Steve, who streams on Sundays.
That's just killing me.
That Prime, that's a Prime PC, and it's
many
consoles
things.
as well.
It's many things. There's many. All right.
Yep.
Who do we have as the winner?
Taulisis?
If you want to be a streamer on Sundays, you're going to have to
Taulisis.
learn this.
I got to learn learn how to say
What would
these.
you do in
Tallases?
this? What would you do in this situation? You might lose your Sunday stream job if they
I
do
know.
it better.
I know. It's true.
So Tallasis, you've won 1,000 platinum.
Tallasis.
I don't know.
Okay.
Tallasis, molasses.
Coming from derelicts.
No. Message our Twitch page and tell us where to put the 1,000 platinum because we'll hook you up after the show. So there you go. You've won the first prize. But we have a lot of big topics to talk about today.
Fantastic.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
We have a lot to show in actual gameplay. I almost don't know where to start, but I feel like, because a lot of these have the gameplay that you guys brought for us, and a lot of them have single assets. So maybe we'll do the
that's
picture
great.
stuff first, because then once I go over there, I don't want to walk back because I'm lazy.
Yep.
Makes
So
sense.
I like to be efficient. An AI pathing thing, perhaps, that I only want to move in one direction.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Watch out for pits.
Exactly. All right, so let's.
Wow, you just made a pathfinding joke? Wow. That's pretty
Leveling
good.
up.
That's pretty good, actually. Very good.
Thanks. It's a new style of humor routine I'm working on. But anywho, okay, so I'm going to jump right into kind of one of the more mysterious enemy factions in AI, and that is Sentients. I'm just going right there.
Okay.
So Sentients are a faction that we revealed kind of late into Warframe, 2015 late at the very,
Yep.
second Dream release.
Is that right?
In 2016, we saw a little bit of a noise from them. We saw little bits of, info. But what do you think's next for you guys, and how you want to approach them? And
Very open-ended.
I know. And I mean, I know there are some things that are not AI and NU specific related, but just in terms of your lens into that world, what say you?
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess we're just trying to expand the AI set that the Sentients have, right? So we're just trying to come up with new enemies for the players to fight when they're combating the Sentient faction. So, we have this really cool agent type now where you can blow off their arms, and then the other agents can pick up those arms and use them. So there's a lot of modularity in terms of
Plug and play.
how they fight. Yeah, plug and play. So we want to extend on that and come up with new weapons that this existing set can use, but we're also trying to come up with new archetypes for the Sentients. And so the first one that we're working on right now is we just have some rough ideas, and we're still trying to find out exactly what it does. Our working title is a Sentient Carrier, and kind of the idea here is that there he is, right up there. And you can see kind of around the ring of the disc there's a few sentient almost frames in a sense. It's like the shell of a sentient, but they're inactive. And what this guy does is what we think he's going to do is as sentients die, they drop that spark.
Yes.
And if this guy's around, that spark will get sucked up into him, and he'll use that spark to form a new sentient. So it really, the idea is that he's going to really create a value change in the combat when you're fighting sentients. If this guy's around, he's going to be a prime target. And so how he fights back and how he defends himself against that, so he can actually stay alive and stay relevant during the combat, is something that we still need to figure out. That we're still working on. But that's kind of the high level pitch for this guy that we're kind of working around.
Do you think he's going? I know right now we're on the tile set where you fight sentients almost exclusively for this type of thing. Is this going to be something that we're going to see introduced here first? Do you think, or?
Not sure yet. We're still super early and just figuring out what he does.
What is he going to do?
And then we'll figure out where he goes.
Yeah, and then you got to find like loot for him and all those things.
Exactly.
I know. I feel like it's really good that players like it's so multifaceted when we introduce a new enemy to the game.
Yeah.
But because you guys deal with the way they behave and what they're going to do and like their kind of gameplay experience, but you don't really do the drops for them.
No, we tossed it over the fence.
Yeah.
Someone
Hey,
else.
Sheldon,
No,
I
you
need something
guys
for this
don't do
guy.
that. No, you don't do that.
You do it.
We
on Sundays.
all suffer through it together.
We all do. Yeah. Anyway, that's totally something that kind of comes late in the game. It's like, okay, this guy's ready to go. When should we release him? What's going to be released alongside of him? And
Maybe
how
he'll
can we
drop
bundle
ammo
it?
for the
Oh.
sentient super weapon.
Oh, see, real time development. Oh yeah, he could drop the super weapon. Oh, wow, see. You know what?
See? So many options.
Yep.
It's endless.
It's true.
We're having the game jam right on stream.
Yes. Would a lot of people are saying hi? This is their first dev stream. So
hello.
to-
If this is your first dev stream.
All right.
All right, that's really cool. I look forward to the expansion of the Sentients because they're definitely kind of the
One of the big challenges that we have with designing the AI for them is just to try and make them feel different from all the other factions.
yes.
Definitely.
And I think we've found a good spot with the troopers.
Yes.
Well, we call them troopers. The name you guys
Get out of
use.
here.
Yeah, there's some non-invites over here.
Get out of here.
And just trying to come up with.
You're not invited today. We're in the middle. But yeah, the troopers are. You're going to hear a lot of code names, I think,
Code
today.
names, yeah, secret code names.
Yep.
But they behave quite differently from any other enemy, and they're adaptive. They kind of adapt their damage resistance as you attack them.
Yep.
You blow off their arms, and they can pick up other arms, and they have a number of unique attacks, which is pretty cool. And so trying to find something that complements those guys and supports them is the challenge for this carrier.
A little fun fact for Sentients. I don't think a lot of players realize they can actually clear the Sentient resistance.
How? What?
Secret
Yeah.
spoilers.
I don't even know that.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, there's...
There's
Oh, wait,
ways.
It's,
hold
it's
on.
easier now than ever, but it's...
Oh
it's
no, I
there.
know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't want to spoil it, but yes, yeah, no, I know.
All right.
I know. Can I tell them now? Now I feel
Yeah,
bad.
go ahead.
Okay, if you use your operator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I thought you were talking about something else. But yeah, actually, I think that's a really interesting point with the Sentients because they have a lot of telegraphing with when they do their tornado attack. And someone actually had a question about that. Crowia says the Conculus Sentients, which would be Trooper, I don't know what the word.
Yeah.
The Conculist has a whirlwind spinning attack that follows the player, which makes them invulnerable until it ends, and it has multi-hits with knockdown, and it chasing until it hits. Is this working as intended? If so, what's the intention? I think the chasing until it hits part is what they have a question about.
Right.
Like, can you counterplay that move?
There's not... The counterplay for it really is to avoid them. So when we designed that ability, the idea was create a little bit of a value change in the combat where players need to be on the defensive a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's fairly short and it doesn't happen all that often. I think it has like a 30-second to a 60-second cooldown on it.
Yes.
Yep.
So the idea was just that, oh shit, look, they're doing their whirlwind. I need to be on the defensive and move,
Yes.
right? And use my parkour abilities to stay safe.
And there is a time limit on that. If they don't hit
yeah.
you within a certain amount of time, they will stop.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've avoided it for
I don't
sure.
think it's
Yeah.
indefinite. I think
It
you,
continues
yeah.
chasing until it hits you. So
Yeah, I don't-
perhaps in this case,
It's timed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it
Crow,
is-
you run away a little bit more.
Yeah.
Try to get away.
Yeah, you need
Run
to.
high.
Like it's okay to run away in combat.
Totally. And it does knock you down when it hits. There were some issues with stun locking at some points that we're
Yes.
trying to resolve and make sure it doesn't. And that part's definitely not intentional. We don't want it to stun lock you. If it knocks you down, it shouldn't keep knocking you down. That's definitely not intentional. But yeah, in terms of chasing you around and being hard to avoid, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We have a general question from Fatos, who asks, will we ever see changes to allow alerted enemies to go back to unalerted? As it is, that never happens, which limits stealth significantly. So they do return to patrol, but I think it's a state issue.
Yeah, that's another one that we could broadcast the state a little bit better. They do actually return to an idle state. Well, it depends on the state of the mission. If the alarms
Yeah.
have gone off, then they're going to stay alert
Yes.
while they chase you down. But if the alarms are not off and you've alerted them or attracted their attention, they will calm down and go back to an idle patrol. It does take a minute or two, I think, before them to really drop back right the way back down to idle.
Yeah, one way that players might, and you know what, hopefully it's working exactly as intended because ever since we added minimap awareness states,
Yeah.
that's a really good tool. And perhaps maybe if someone's playing and trying to do this and they never see that minimap state go back to unfilled, you could let us know if it's not working
Yep.
perhaps as intended, but because we can fix that. But
Yeah, that was one of the things when I thought it was a really nice feature to have
It's
for the
amazing.
stealth to
Yes.
help you plan your stealth routes, see the facing and the awareness.
Yes.
But it was one of the changes that I thought, well, this is going to have to keep us honest now
yeah, exactly.
when
Yeah.
we cheat, when we're
At
telling
all.
you what their state is.
Yes, the minimap is a stealther's best friend as a tool for certain. All right, so we also so a lot of the gameplay today is going to talk about some tweaks you guys are doing with the Eximus units, a new mission type that's coming, and there's a few other things I want to show, some Corpus faction related changes.
Yep.
But before we get into that, the Corpus as a faction have had to the boss Nef Anyo sort of teased for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
So Nef Anyo has made his appearance in the Index event quite recently. We kind of showed his gargantuan life. I don't even know what it is, his outfit. It's amazing, great character. But he's not really had a clear arrival date for the revamped boss fight.
No.
And this is totally just a question of, what changed last year that pushed him, and do you have a general idea of if he's not your priority right now, what is? Because maybe we can talk about that instead.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming up, I think. So I did a high-level design. He's nuts. So he has this big platform he goes around on, and the initial idea was that he'd have this crazy magnetic shield, and then players need to do things in the environment or with other enemies to help disable that shield, making him vulnerable so they could attack him and fight him. We never really got past that high level and figured out the details. And then Second Dream came along, and then Kella de Tem was finished. The character guys did a great job on Kella de Tem, so we switched focus and worked on her instead. And then, other events and quests and War Within. And
I think the raids came and interrupted him as well.
the raids.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm still kind of mulling him around in my head. Don't have a really great design for him yet. I have some ideas that I'm kind of kicking around, but he's coming up. I think we only have a few more bosses on that redesign front, like Forward and Nef Anyo, I think, the last two after Ambulus.
So Ambulus, we actually have a new model of today as well to show.
He's gorgeous.
So if you fought Ambulus recently, he's the kind
Yeah.
of the King
Nice.
Moa, but now he's really
Yeah.
or she, or it, I don't know, it's a robot. So
Yeah, this is going to be a cool fight. This is one, Doug is working on this one right now, and it's
Doug.
coming along really nice. Basically, it's kind of an evolution of the Bursa, maybe, in a sense. It doesn't have the shields that the Bursas have, but he has this really thick armor plating that players need to destroy excuse me, in pieces to make him vulnerable.
what's
And we're
it,
kind of-
does he have a railgun on his head, or what is he going to actually be doing to hurt the players?
Yeah, a bit of a railgun.
Or is that a surprise?
He's a few tricks up his sleeve.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Have
I
you
like
been,
that. I
have
like
you been
that.
giving him tricks, Daniel?
A little bit. Well, actually, it's Doug's been working on him most of the time from the design point of
Right.
view, just plugging and playing out different behaviors together.
Nice,
And he's saying he's helping out there, but
Nice.
Yeah, we're kind of
Right
taking
across
the kind of a similar slant to Raptor fight with this guy. Where
Okay.
it's not so much a fight of killing a singular boss, but it's more about fighting a group of Ambulus with a broader objective and goals in mind. And
Gotcha.
it's some pretty badass stuff that we're working on here.
All right, so perhaps that's not a front and back, that's two ambulances.
Could be, yeah. They're posing it all. Yeah.
Have you got to ambulance yet on
would
your
be
Sunday
it.
streams?
I haven't. My Sunday stream was a disaster last Sunday when I streamed on Twitch, DE_Steve,
Okay.
around noon, depending on my ISP. Yep.
All right.
I haven't got there yet. No,
You're not even close, are you?
not even close.
All right, that's okay. At least you're honest.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm at,
Did you rip
I'm at
apart?
I'm at the Jackal.
Oh, that's all right. The Jackal was one of the first bosses.
Yeah.
he was the very first boss.
The very
Yeah.
first
He
boss.
was the first boss.
So what
yeah.
have you learned about boss design as a sort of pillar of warfare? Are you okay, Tom?
Yeah, maybe you want to take this one?
Just toss it over the fence.
We might need to.
Yeah, our boss design has gone through a lot of changes
Yes.
over the years.
It
From
has.
the very, very beginning, through all sorts of different stages, because then we had Vor and his development, and Lech Krill
Yes.
with his kind of invulnerability stage.
We finally added UI for, by the way, very recently.
Yes,
2
yeah.
weeks ago. There's now a gray bar on the UI if a target is invulnerable or if an ally is. So don't shoot if it's grayed out.
Yeah. And we have learnt a lot of lessons through the process of redeveloping all the bosses. Because when we first started, they were just kind of big enemies with new powers.
Yes.
And then we slowly started revamping them, giving them their own unique ID, their unique visuals and behaviors and powers.
They used to just be scaled up regular units
Yeah.
with,
Yeah.
with a tint color.
Like, yeah.
But I spoke about it at GDC last year as
Oh,
well. There was a
right.
whole big presentation on bosses, and a lot of it's the presentation. The boss fights are supposed to be kind of almost a reward for the players, right? You've done the work, you've put in the grind, you've got to the boss, and now you want a big spectacle.
Yes.
And you want this big story that goes with it, with appropriate pacing and escalation points and a couple of surprises. And you'll see the changes in the bosses have been more focused on that side of things now, where before we just wanted a big enemy that had some special attacks, where now we're looking at how they fit in with the environment, and
Right.
they've got unique arenas like Killer de Thames kind of arena where she traps you and makes you face her and changes up the arena as time goes on.
Yes.
Tilray Gore is another great one for that, with the flooding of the arena. I love the big statue.
It's
in the
honestly,
spotlight.
I think,
Yeah.
I certainly appreciate that when I get
Yeah.
to go in there. I think what is a really interesting challenge for you guys as designers of these units and bosses is, like when we promoted this stream this week, we said, the enemies at the receiving end of your Tonkor. So you guys are always having the challenge of having to design these bosses or even the minions, which we'll show later at the gameplay, against players whose firepower is just so huge.
Yeah.
A little overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how much does that factor into the core of and Steve has used the word a lot, like our minions, like we're very much a minion mowdown game, and then you get to these boss points for different loot and special spectacles. So how do you approach design these days with the current like 31 unique Warframes, 4 powers each, 600 weapons, well not 600, 400 or something? Or do you just
Rounding error.
just like cross your fingers?
To an extent. I mean, it starts off with coming up with the behaviors, but definitely the very biggest challenge and first thing we work on is, okay, how do we make sure the boss lives more than 5 seconds? Right? If we can make him last more than 5 seconds, then we win. Basically,
Yeah.
right? So,
That's the D bar.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's why we come up with invulnerability phases and that kind of thing. And players don't like that all that much, so we try and avoid that as much as possible. And that's where the Raptor fight and the Ambulance fight come from a little bit, is trying to make a boss not super hard that it's going to take 5 minutes to take down, but have the boss fight be about something more than just destroying the singular enemy,
Yes.
and about some broader objective.
Right.
And so yeah, I mean, dealing with the power of the player is definitely the biggest challenge, and it's what makes Warframe bosses so fun and unique to design as well. So, and in terms of the powers, we kind of start once we have the basic design in and working, and then we start playing with the different Warframes and seeing how the boss reacts to being stunned and slowed and vortexed and ragdolled, and then dealing with how it should respond and
Mind controlled.
mind controlled, exactly.
Rifted.
And rifted, all these crazy things.
Please
yeah.
continue.
Pulled into a puddle.
Exactly. And soon maybe he'll start dancing.
And dancing.
Yeah. When Megan danced to death, you can't really decide again.
Exactly. It gets beat down. But yeah, so we kind of just start, and we try not to make bosses immune to all the powers. We need to usually make the boss less vulnerable. But
We did
try not to make
diminishing
them immune.
returns, a big pass on that
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing, and I mean, this is a segue of my own invention now, but then when we introduce the operator, they don't have the same power a player has, so you have different enemies for an operator. For example, when
Yeah.
you guys were both involved with the War Within, we introduced something called the Maw.
Yeah.
So, and I thought this was a really cool thing, and players have been talking about this. The only way you can encounter it is to replay the quest. But as far as this type of enemy goes and designing for operator gameplay, that one's good. What does that do for you when you approach designing for operator stuff?
Yeah, I mean that was a fun experience working on the War Within and coming up with the gameplay spaces and the Maw enemy for the operator to encounter. Yeah, we haven't had a whole lot of chances yet. We're kind of testing out different things and ways to bring back more operator gameplay into the regular game outside the quest, and not a whole lot to talk about yet, but we have some ideas.
I mean, the Queen's Guard are a good enemy.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
gods, the Kuva gods, or whatever they're called now. They're
Kuba.
Kuva.
Yep.
But they kind of have that invulnerability that until you zap them or you zap them and then dash through them or something.
There's a lot of- there's
there's a
operator-
couple of operator
Yeah.
stages that you need to do to weaken them and then destroy them. So you can't destroy them purely as the operator, and you can't destroy them purely as a Warframe. You kind of have to go back and forward between the two states, and that's an interesting gameplay space.
You don't know that yet, DE Steve, who streams on Sundays because you haven't got there, but
I love that people are saying, why did it have to be ravenous? They're
yeah.
kicking out the lines from the quest.
Love it.
The Maw was neat because the Maw turned out really interesting, but more interesting than the time it was given on the page
screen.
and on screen,
Yeah.
sort of, because and it's funny, like people died so many times to it, and then we'd have people internally wouldn't die once to it.
Yeah.
And the tuning, the difficulty of that, because it was unlike Warframes where it's
Yeah.
damage and armor and shield. It kills you if it
Yeah.
catches you. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Done. And it was, I think, a very unique experience in the context of Warframe, where you're not really used to dying like that.
Absolutely.
This was it swallowed you. Try again.
Yeah.
But what I loved about it was that feeling of that really feeling vulnerable, which worked in the context of the quest because you were playing as the operator.
Absolutely.
But when you get it and control it, that section is so exciting and it's gone.
I know.
Yeah.
And I would love, personally, I would love for us to be able, the mall was there to teach you about how transference worked. And that you got it back or whatever. And I would love to see the mall return as a kind of, I don't know where we'd put it, but
we should
a
start
wicked idea to put it in back in the game.
Yeah, I mean, just keep moving Nathaniel forward, and then as we go,
exactly.
And this is why Neff
He's like the
gets
back
delicious.
never
Right,
Neff,
it's getting
never.
Poor Neff. He's the punching bag of Warframe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have a question.
I feel like Neff is like he's like Daft Punk.
Totally.
If he had turntables in that little room
now
that
that
he was
we
in,
have
Yeah. Hey, some Bard frame interaction there, maybe?
Yeah, he's like the second best pop star
Battle
in
of
the
the
solar
bands.
system. Like Bard is way better, and he's just jealous of him.
Exactly.
Maybe that's Diff.
Let's do a platinum prize now.
Yeah.
So we'll.
Some people were frustrated. I see some people want the cooldowns removed on the operator. We've been talking about changing that energy system actually a little bit with you guys, so we're up for that, and we agree.
Yeah, absolutely. It gets challenging when you're trying to stealth through an area and then you need to dash.
Yeah.
But you've already
But
used
you've
up
used up the energy.
And you just sprint and pray.
It's things that are linked together ought not to be.
Yeah.
Winner is coming soon. Someone says hello from Greece. Hello to you in Greece.
Hello, Greece.
And we have a winner. It's Tinuz. Tin. No, maybe.
The names are pretty tame
Tinuz.
today.
Yeah, I know. We need some wild names, folks. Register new accounts. Follow our channel. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Do that. Don't do that. So yeah, you've won 1,000 platinum. Message our Twitch page and tell us where you'd like the platinum to be. Actually, one thing that you guys mentioned earlier was raids push Nathaniel, and I think we have a very small and dedicated trial, is the non-code name for raids, community that currently have 3 options of trialing to do: Nightmare, Regular, Law of Retribution, and the Jordas Verdict, as you know. So trials are, as a development thing, we kind of said we're not doing another one yet, and I think that's still true. But do you guys want to talk a little bit about what the trials, what making them and sustaining them in sort of the scope of your work? Working on them and stuff?
A great source of bugs.
It's a great source of bugs. And they're the hardest kind because you have 8 people to help me test this.
And we were talking about them like all day yesterday, I think, was the big conversation.
Yeah, we just fixed a big Law of Retribution exploit yesterday.
Yep.
Which is great.
But sadly, it's weird because that's the kind of thing that, like, to be, when you're a trial player and you sometimes use those exploits to get around the bugs, like, what do you do? Because
Try to fix both at the same
Yeah.
time.
Hopefully we fix the big bugs.
I feel like as a golden rule, it's like you can't fix a bug without an exploit at the same time, and then it's like the only way to package a release. But I've participated in a lot of the Law of Retribution. I thought that, like, I'm routine at it now because I've done it so many times, and I still find it quite thrilling to get the puzzles right and just see how fast I can go. It's now a speed issue rather than a puzzle issue, gameplay thing, and I still find it really exciting. But so. They are a unique challenge because they challenge players in a lot of ways. They're socially demanding compared to other things.
Yeah, you've got to be coordinated and.
Yes. How do you did you when you were working on those trials, and now that they've been around for a couple of years, what would you like? What would you have done differently? What do you want to do when you review them again? Like,
Here's my list. Wait.
No, I don't mean it in that way. I just mean, like.
Do we have anything to drink while we're talking about this?
I need to recover from this.
No, I just mean, like, when we approach
Anonymous.
trials again in the future, what kind of stuff would you like? Do you want to add?
I don't know. I really love the puzzling aspects of the first ones, and I just just new ways to challenge players and get that teamwork going. It's one of the few modes where we really try and force teamwork and really require players to work together as a team. Right? We kind of go along with the assumption that you're going to go in there with people that know what they're doing, that you're communicating with, and we don't force that, but we kind of take that as these are going to be tough, and if you don't communicate, it's going to be almost impossible. And so, I think just nailing on that and making sure that players have to work together, and the puzzles involve a lot of teamwork and coordination. Working in a bit of operator maybe would be fun one day.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
It kind of is. You can work in operator in some of them now.
I know.
It's
It's a source
trickery.
of bugs.
16-player raids now.
I know. It's true. I have a question about feral Kavats and how they, this is from Haldos, and that they have parkour-esque behavior. So people want to know if we're going to have any more parkour-focused enemy units and what we can do in that capacity for the factions?
Yeah, well, we love that they're so mobile. We wanted them to be different from the Kubros in that regard. And there are actually quite a few enemies, or NPCs rather, not just enemies, that can perform some parkour moves.
Right.
We have a system, I call it internally the breadcrumb system, but when the players perform wall jumps and bullet jumps and so on, we actually drop hints for the NPCs into the system in the background. And then some of the NPCs can actually follow those jumps, and they can perform those bullet jumps and wall jumps where the player has just done it.
I feel like I've seen this happen before.
We use it a lot in Rathum and the Index.
Yes.
That's probably the most visible one. But other things, I think Clem can actually do can do bullet
You are
jumps.
father.
Is there anything you can't
can't
do?
So what you're saying is,
And some of the rescue guys can also, because we want them to be able to follow the player and keep up with the player, which is a big challenge when the players can move so quickly. That dropping these hints allows them to try and keep up and follow them.
and speaking of the complete opposite of following and parkour, Archwizard asks about creating enemies with stealth specializations. When the Manic came out, it was originally devised as a stealth enemy. It would climb and drop down on you, but now it's more of a mini-boss that is quite stealthy, but not occurring in stealth combat. He only shows up if the alarms are high enough.
Yeah.
Have you thought about any type of stealth-focused special enemies that you don't see coming, I guess?
Yeah, I would love it. I mean, my favorite. There's tons of favorite gaming moments when you're fighting an enemy who can cloak and that sort of thing. So
Some of the
I don't think
index
we have
can
anything.
cloak.
Yeah.
Index enemies
Yeah,
can cloak.
yeah, a couple of the Index guys can cloak. There's definitely some scope for them. I mean, when the community enemies, when we were developing those guys, we thought that it was a nice opportunity to add mini bosses to the game.
Yes.
And that's why we changed them up instead of just being a regular grunt, that they were these tougher enemies that would change up the gameplay and spice it up in a significant way, that you wouldn't just run through and shoot them in the head with your high-powered gun and be done with it.
Yes.
And so that's why he drops in only if the alarms are too high. Yeah, we can definitely look at some stuff. I always thought that perhaps way back from Dark Sector days, the chromas were pretty cool, how they would kind of cloak and then move around and then pop out and shoot you.
Yep.
So maybe something like that for the Infested could be interesting.
Let's just do it.
Just do it.
Honestly, I feel like with what you guys have set up, we could do it pretty easily. I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this idea.
There you
Let's look at the chroma mesh and see how bad it is.
Yeah, like how much,
See how old and
even
low
export.
poly it is.
but speaking of unique units, I'm going to go over here now and play because
All right, cool.
Okay, I'm
We
going
got a
to.
couple shout outs. I'm supposed to shout out to Kiko, who's watching the stream. Someone's daughter named Kiko, who wants to grow up to be like Rebecca, I think, was what I read. I was just trying to read this here.
Do they want to be like me when they grow up?
Yeah, someone.
That's
It might have been sarcastic though.
all right. So I'm going to show. The Corpus are a much loved faction by much of the community, and there is a new unit coming that you might want to talk a little bit about, but I'll hop into the level that you've... So Tom is the creator of the gray AI rooms that we've used in the past.
The talented Tom with his
My art
beautiful
skills.
gray box.
Yeah, my art skills on display. Yeah.
It's to
But,
focus your attention on the content.
Exactly. Don't want to waste
Exactly.
time with that. Look at this.
What's this?
Well, this is the Nyx
Wow, this is a great box.
Tenogen skin, but this
Leveled
is...
up.
Here he is.
Mastery of rank 10.
Next looks amazing.
Shadow lighting and everything.
Exactly. All right, so what's this guy all about? Ignore the sniper crewman. Oh,
Oh, what is it?
So he's got a new trick up his sleeve.
I was not expecting that. That is hilarious.
so there are some placeholder elements here, and we do have the real meshes to show you in a status. Get!
These are placeholder meshes?
Those are literally
yeah,
shrunk.
placeholder.
That
These are mini hyenas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
They're
Scott
so cute.
Johnson was is an animator. Who works on a lot of the AI and bosses with us, and he had the idea to create a smaller Corpus that kind of changed up the targeting gameplay when you're fighting Corpus. So instead of always like pointing like this, you have to target on the ground, kind of like crawlers, how they force that kind of target challenge.
That's
in
cool.
Infested.
Oh, I love this.
So we played around with a mini guy, and when I was prototyping it, I was kind of putting it in different situations and trying it in different ways. And oh yeah, there's the real
the
guy
mesh,
there.
yeah.
There's the new guy.
Oh,
And I stuck him with the sniper guy.
Is it
and
gonna be
it
skating?
fit. I hope so.
Oh, wow, cool.
kind of like the
I killed
Blizzard
him,
Scrim.
I
so-
feel like you should
Yeah.
roll.
He should respawn
Yeah.
at some point.
Should I just control L? Or will that not work?
He should respawn. He's around there somewhere.
All right, I'll leave and come back.
Yeah, and I just found with the sniper guy, so he lays down these what we call fabricators
Yeah.
that start spawning the micro hyena.
Yep.
And that just kind of creates a little bit of challenge with dealing with the sniper. It gives him a few more seconds to survive while you worry about these micro hyenas.
Oh,
There he comes.
why do they bleed,
They
Tom?
bleed. I don't. It's placeholders. Placeholder. That's supposed to bleed.
Not finished yet. Not shipping yet. Yeah. So right now, like they have super low health and a bit more shield, but they should be relatively simple to take care of. And,
Oh my God.
a bit more of a distraction than a tough enemy to fight.
Oh my god. Where did he go? Oh, there he is.
Looks
I
like
saw-
shotguns are good against them.
Looks like shotguns are
Yeah.
good against everything,
Yeah.
but
Oh, I like that. I like
oh my
this.
god. All right. Anyway, so this
Oh,
is
can you destroy the fabricator? Is that what I just saw?
yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Don't try and no scope me.
I love enemy generators in games. Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Anyway, yeah, because I mean the Corpus don't have a summoner unit in the same way that the Grineer do.
It's true, yeah,
Even
this is the
the
first one.
infested. So this
Yep.
is pretty exciting. I bet I'm going to see a whole bunch of little.
Countdown until people want one of these as a pet.
I know. Here it comes.
I already
You're
saw
in.
somebody.
Yeah, totally.
Toss it
Oh,
out.
man, if you could have a fabricator, that would be hilarious.
You have the Pokeballs for the
Yeah. Yeah.
another code name, I guess.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
All right.
Specters.
Oh, right.
Pokeballs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And next up in the sort of, so that's a new Corpus unit coming with a little mini guy. And now we also have Eximus. So these were a unit that you guys added that's essentially, everyone knows that Eximus are kind of like the mini boss of an existing grunt and minion. And they have different effects, elemental, they can do different things. But something you're experimenting with here that you might want to talk about while I play it, because
Yeah, so we kind of want to bring up the Eximus. You know, when you get to higher levels, they're not really much of a challenge. Players just kind of breeze through them like they're regular minions. So we want to find a way to make them a bit more tough and survive a bit longer against high-level players.
okay.
So we came up with this weak point system,
Okay.
where as an enemy level increases,
Yeah.
his chance to spawn with one of these weak points levels up a little bit. So
and these are placeholder-ish.
so these are placeholder-ish, yeah. So low-level Eximus won't have these, but as they get higher level, they'll spawn with these weak points on them. And this guy looks like he has one on his arm.
I know, I'm going to,
Oh, you got the one on his leg already.
I got the leg one, but,
Yeah. Yeah.
God, oh, I can't aim.
So he's invulnerable until you manage to shoot off that weak point, at which point he can be damaged.
So that's an interesting skill challenge there. You gotta aim.
And I am
shoot off those.
unskilled, so I'm the wrong
I
person.
think you got it. I think you got it.
No, I didn't.
Come on.
Come on, are you
There we go.
kidding me?
No.
One more.
I can't aim. Okay, everyone
You
just hold-
slowed him even. This would have been perfect.
Oh, he fell through the
Where
floor.
did he go?
Oh, he's-
Tom, what kind of level is
That was a feature. He can teleport through.
New X.
Oh, okay, there we go. I got him, guys.
Nice.
Oh, and here comes his reinforcement, who doesn't know I'm here. Ha ha ha.
So they'll still be vulnerable to powers, but they won't take damage from powers. So you can use some Vauban powers to stun them or hold them in place while you take out the weak points.
Yeah.
So a lot of powers will still have vulnerability, so you can counterplay them a little bit that way.
Yeah.
You just can't do any damage to them.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
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 All right, let's see who's next. Oh, it's this guy again.
Yeah, I only have it set up on the runner and the charger here, but all the infested Eximus will have them
All right.
at some point.
Infested first, and then are we gonna?
Yeah, well, you know, we're going to add it to all three factions and have it the same, but I don't really like adding exact same mechanics to all three factions. I prefer to create a little bit of orthogonality that way and
I can't
have
even.
a little bit uniqueness between them. So still trying to figure out what the other faction Eximus will do and how they all kind of mix things up for the player.
Right.
But we'll think of something.
Chat loves this idea.
Are they? Please no.
They're scared right now.
That's because if anyone
Yeah.
uses a Tigris Prime like
Yeah.
me, maybe you guys can actually aim them.
Yeah,
but
and that's
So I think a key thing is that there's a small chance.
Yep.
I think like this guy here, it's 100% for the test, but I think it's a 30% chance that he'll spawn with one
Right.
in game. So it only gets to be a bit higher, like up to 40 or 50% chance
Right.
at like over level 50 enemies.
Yep.
So it's
Nice.
it's not going to be every Eximus you see is going to be invulnerable. It's every few of them you find might have 1 or 2 points on them. So
Right.
it's hopefully going to be manageable and isn't going to suck the fun out of it.
yeah.
And again, if you're the person who I saw posting earlier in chat, we don't want tougher enemies. We want more difficult enemies, and this is what this is. giving us a new tier of enemies that allows us to say, well, it's not just a bag of hit points, more bags
Yeah.
of hit points,
Yeah.
or more instant one-hit kills on you as the player. So this is what this is for, to bring it up higher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I'm just going to quickly get the latest scoop here, because we're also going to show a new mission type. So Dean will come back to me when I'm ready, which I'm not. But yeah, what's the scoop here?
A new mission type.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys want. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yeah, so we have a new mission type we're working on. So we released Glass Gambit, what was that, a couple months ago?
Yes.
Before Christmas. And,
Lifetime ago.
Lifetime feels like it. And we had the colonist defense mission in that. And we really enjoyed, and I think the community really enjoyed, interacting with civilians in Warframe and getting a bit more lore out of the game and through the non-combatants. So we wanted to take that to another level. So we've created another mode that we're prototyping right now, and our working title is Defector Rescue. And the idea here is that there are these Grenier defectors who encountered an infestation in space. They were responding to a distress call, but their ship ended up getting infested, and now they need your help. So when the Warframe arrive at the ship in the mission, they find that these defectors have sealed themselves into these safe rooms, where they're safe from the infestation, and it's up to the Warframes to rescue them and see them safely to the extraction point.
We're calling it Panic Room 2. It's the sequel to the Jodie Foster film you may have enjoyed.
Get some Jodie Foster plugs in there. And so I mean, the basic thing is that as the defectors run to the exit, they're taking damage, and so you need to keep them healed up, and you do this using these healing stations in the map where the defectors will run to.
All right.
And you need to get them charged up.
And so how is this going into the game? Is it going to be like a one location in the map, or alerts, or what's how are we going in?
Funny you should ask that, Steve.
Yeah.
Actually,
I walked into a trap.
we're actually playing this around an event mission.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yes.
So we're planning it from the start for leaderboards and clan leaderboards.
Oh,
and
neat.
the idea
Okay.
is that this will appear in the star chart once in a while as an event. Hey everyone, there's a ship that needs your help. Go help the civilians. And so we're really gearing the gameplay and trying to work on the scoring a lot to come up with ways to make sure players can really strategize and create different strategies to rescue the defectors in faster ways and in more effective ways to increase their score and then compete in the leaderboards.
Rebecca's just showing off, by the way.
This is
fashion
a
frame.
this is a Tenogen skin. So this is
Beautiful.
another one coming. It's the
Very
Mesa
nice.
Grax. And
So this galleon's got a bit of problems here. Looks like there might be a
Got some
little
issues.
outbreak on here. Yeah.
Some issues.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So there's healing stations throughout the ship that you'll use these power cells to keep powered up. And as the defectors run through the ship, they stop at these healing stations to heal themselves up. And then once they're healed up, they run off to the next one.
yes, so it is work in development. So there's a few placeholder strings and stuff going on here. So it's just it's endless, which is really cool. I think you mentioned that. Oops.
I didn't, but yeah, it's endless. And like this, I think we just got the first playable working earlier this week. So this is going through some rapid iterations. We're still trying to figure out the details and make sure it has enough there to keep players engaged. But the core of it is working pretty nicely.
Yeah, it's a great job to the team on this. It's quite exciting to interact with defectors and get them out of here safely.
Yes, that was a healing station just behind right there. And there should be some defectors making their way. Here he comes.
Okay.
And and so one of the things we're experimenting with this is allowing the players to kind of affect the difficulty of the mission as they play it.
Oh, cool.
So right now there's one segment of the ship open.
One second.
And
My bad. Why don't
Not so
I
bad.
accidentally turned off post effects? Sorry, Steve. How do I fix that? Doing. Yeah, it's control too.
oh,
Visual modes, post effects.
There we go.
Control 1, probably.
No, Steve. Guys, you're not supposed to. I'm rooting
so
for
the
them.
infestation got so bad it knocked out the power.
I can't.
This game mode is so powerful. It will change your rendering.
Exactly.
No, I can't put it back.
But yeah, and so we're hoping that players, as they're playing it, you can unlock new segments of the ship,
Okay.
which
Yeah, might as well.
allows you to get more colonists over time,
Yeah.
but also, of course, makes it more difficult. So if you're fighting for competition in the leaderboards,
Yeah.
you want to open up more segments, but of course that makes it more challenging for you.
Don't die, little buddies. So they're running to
You still
extraction
haven't
now.
fixed it, by the way.
I know the post effects is off. So if you want to know what the game looks like without any effects, this is going to make Jeremy cry. But
Well, This is what proper exposure.
It's more like light maps are off.
It looks like lighting's off.
Yeah, there's a couple things going on. Sorry, I'm a little bit of a keyboard. But yeah, so they're running now, but you can still see, so it's...
Barely.
There you go. And there's Mesa. Oh my god, don't hurt him!
This is the aliens mode. Everything's all
you go.
dark. And
Yeah, this is horror mode.
James Cameron,
Flashlight mode.
James Cameron mode. Yeah.
No! There we go.
Yeah, so we're just trying to right now figure out different roles for players and strategies players can have to maximize the number of colonists they rescue
Go,
and,
go, go.
and see what kind of different strategies we can use to
Run,
accommodate
Clem,
that.
run.
Right. Ah! So once he gets through the big secure gates there, he's good. He's safe. So I gotta see him through. There he goes. And then my defector's rescued should turn to one. If he makes it, which he is about to go.
And then we're going
And-
to look at adding things. There he goes.
Yep, cool.
So we're going to look at adding things like a bit of a force extraction if too many guys die. So we'll track how many defectors have been killed, and maybe do a bit of shaming with that, with forcing to extract.
Shaming system.
Yeah.
You're doing worse than you're killing more of them, but yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll add some wrinkles in too. So as an event mission, it'll stay on the star chart for a little while, and players can plans and players can compete in leaderboards, and then it'll go away and come back a little while later. And we're planning to add different wrinkles to the mission as we go. So maybe next time you fight, the infested fog is so thick that you can't see 2 feet in front of your face or something. You
Right.
know? Maybe there's a bit more damage over time, or little mini bosses that spawn to make things more difficult for you.
Little Eximus units of the infested that have
More
weak
Eximus.
points. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, this is coming sooner to PC rather than later, so PC players can look forward to this pretty soon.
Yep.
I'm going to come back over there because we're going to talk about
Alright.
something that we talked about last Devstream. But Steve talked a little bit about it on a Sunday stream at DE_Steve. Kingpins. Clans and Kingpins. So that mission that we just looked at is going to be something that the clans get to participate in at an event level, is
Yes.
the plan.
Yep.
But what else? Clans have some other stuff to look forward to. Do they not?
They do.
Yeah.
Yes. They have this. We have been working on it was called Syndicate Assassinations, but in the spirit of our big pillars this year, we want to make clans great again. So we're going to build a wall, and we're going to make this amazing. We're calling it enemy cells right now, and it's a bit like the investigation board that you might see in a crime serial, like The Wire or Breaking Bad or something. And we generate your clan, and it scales based on the size of your clan, or it's going to. We generate this enemy organization of a random faction led by a procedurally generated custom Kingpin, and you have to work together with your clanmates to uncover the structure of their organization and bring them down.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all done at a clan level for initiating and walking you through the path.
That's right.
Like this UI is only found in your clan with your clanmates.
Yep.
But as far as what you're going out and playing, so are we taking like existing AI types and kind of, you said procedurally generated, so how is this going to come out at an AI level? Like who and what can people expect to fight against?
Yeah. Wow, that's. I mean, that's still being worked on.
It is still being
but,
worked on.
yeah.
One of the things that we want is for these enemy cells, Kingpin organizations, to have infiltrated a lot of the other factions in the system. So they've got their Grineer units, but then there's a couple of specialized tweaks to them that we want
Right.
for the kind of the Grineer associated Kingpin. But the Corpus associated one will have his own set of units.
Right.
The Kingpin himself will have his own kind of set of special powers.
or
and,
Queen
or
Pin,
Queen,
perhaps,
Queen
or,
Pin.
right.
or
Yeah.
Zombie
Yeah.
Pin.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we're
Monster
going to have
Pin.
to generate kind of a unique-ish boss that has his own special powers, defenses, vulnerabilities, and weaknesses. It's a little bit like the Shadow of Mordor system.
A lot like it.
Yeah. Are they afraid of Kavats by any chance? Because if we bring
Possibly that might be a weakness.
That might be a weakness,
Fear of
actually.
Kavats,
That literally might be a
fear of
weakness.
Kubros.
And the cool thing, I think, is as you are uncovering the organization, the clan has to work together, or the warlords
Yeah.
can modify some of the missions. Because they're branching, you might decide that you guys prefer to do these types of missions and this sort of thing to find your way to get to the Kingpin versus doing something else. So there is a bit of choice in there.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about it is that we have never done this in Warframe, and it's not super revolutionary, but we've never had this kind of concept of an AI who's acting against you or against your group at a level that's outside the missions.
Right.
Yeah,
So
acting at that meta level, meta layer.
He's acting at a meta layer. So the Stalker is an example of that, who notices that you kill a boss and will come after you.
Yeah.
And this is bringing that to another level where every time you uncover some part of his organization or take out one of his henchmen, there's a potential to draw what we're calling a complication, which is he's going to act against the clan, or he's going to hire someone to go after you guys, or he's going to try to change, hack some part. A Russian hacker is going to try to take out some part of your dojo and be fighting back against you
That's
as
sick.
you're getting closer and closer to him. So it's going to be very interesting to play this out, and we're intending this to be something that maybe if you were a weekend warrior club, I met some great weekend warriors in Melbourne. That you would get together and say, let's try to crack this organization this weekend. Let's go and pay off this informant, which unlocks the location of where their warehouse is and that sort of thing. So it is still defined by the missions that we have in the game, but it mixes in that stuff that you guys have seen, attack alerts, or what Daryl's been doing, where there's mission generation as part of it, and then the Kingpin themselves inform the rest of it, right? If it's some kind of weird infestation breakout, that maybe he's coming back and his attributes are on the things that work for him.
Right.
So,
Fear of cats.
Potentially a fear of cats. Yes. Apparently, we're gonna have to add that to the list.
Well, I mean, it's Shadow Mordor.
Yeah.
They were afraid. One guy was afraid of bees and stuff. And it was
I remember the afraid of bees guy. That was hilarious.
It was good.
Yeah.
Dean, if you can just remind me of an additional asset we have there. There's a dropship. So why don't we take a look at that? I think this is in the context of the Ambulus fight.
Yeah, it is. So this is a Corpus dropship that we're going to see. And this is going to be featured in the Ambulus fight when it releases.
So cool!
And this thing is badass.
Look at how amazing it is.
It's
There's some spots for some MOAs in the wings, and then the crewmen come out of the inside there. And
Drew, that's where crewmen come from.
Yep.
Right there. Yeah, and then I think some drones will pop out of the top.
Yep.
Oh my God, it's like a mobile army.
Yeah. So this is part of the Ambulus fight. Is you're trying to deactivate and prevent Ambulus from being picked up by these drop ships to be distributed throughout the solar system. And so that's where this is featured, but then they're also going to be featured in the future in other Corpus open world levels, where as part of the regular reinforcement stream, we'll, instead of spawning enemies the usual way, we'll bring in a dropship.
Yeah, so Europa and the Venus tile set.
Yeah, the ice planet is one that's particularly hard for us to find spots to spawn enemies out of view when you're outside.
Oh yeah, because there's only a few that are above the surface.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a crash landing, but yeah.
So
I love how not aerodynamic that is. That drop ship. It's just like
Put wings on a box.
Yeah, it's just like.
We have another question from Corporal Facehugger, who wants to know, what are the lessons you've learned from nullifiers and the development that they've undergone due to player feedback? How have these lessons informed your design of new enemies? To put it another way, how do you intend to avoid fun-related pitfalls of nullifiers? And I put in brackets, of course, the real father of nullifiers is not here. He has taken credit for them on prime time before. That's Pablo, who is now on Twitter but does not stream on Sundays yet. But
he better not.
Coming soon, maybe Mondays.
Maybe Mondays, we'll see.
No.
I think the biggest takeaway has been not to take players' powers away from them.
Yeah.
And which is fair, right? Because the powers are what are fun, and we love using them. So, the nullifier, I think the concept is great. Like it's a wicked value change in the combat, right? It forces you to stop just killing all these random mobs and focus on a different enemy for once, and maybe change your tactics a little bit. So where it comes from, I think, is great. But obviously, players don't love getting their powers taken away.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and we have someone saying that apparently we've learned nothing because we're adding God mode on a common Eximus unit, which is a disastrous idea.
Right.
Now let's talk about that. So
great, yep.
I don't know if that's just I think that's an interesting point, because obviously pointing and shooting and have everything die in front of you always is sort of the 90% of the gameplay players have, right? There's some things. Like focusing to aim, like I obviously had a hard time shooting the objects at that particular moment. Tigris isn't exactly a pinpoint accuracy weapon, but if I had my sidearm to be that, perhaps I could do better at it. Obviously, it's a prototype and it's not live yet, and it will get iterated on. But I don't know if it's a bad thing that you'd have to quickly not only do you know that the Eximus units are usually the biggest threat in a group, especially if they're ancient healer type style units, focusing on that and looking for a telegraphed weak point to hit could be interesting in practice.
Yeah, especially when there's a group of you, right? Like you're a
Yes.
solo there, and so it's of course going to be a lot more difficult,
Yeah.
and we can plan for that.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, if it's one guy and among a sea of enemies, then if you have to wait and deal with the other enemies first because it's too hard of a targeting challenge, and I think that's fair. And also using powers to slow him down in some way or hold him down.
And that's the. I think
Those
that's a
kind of
really
things
good
as
point.
well.
Before we
You were starting to get onto that too.
Yeah,
when you
before
were
I
playing
streamed
it. Yep.
today,
Yep.
that I actually had Titania out, and you can cast her 1 on it, and then it just became sleep dusted in the air, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
so I can
Yeah,
shoot you.
yeah, bam, bam.
So power choice will also be infinitely useful in that particular. Like I was probably going about that the worst way possible. I was using a shotgun while I was dodging, and I wasn't using powers. Powers work.
Slow fire rate on fire, fast enemy.
Yeah.
And again, I think when you guys come into the streams, you're seeing how the sausage is made, and obviously we're going to be testing. And isn't that the expression?
Yeah.
You see how the sausage is made. And you hear our ideas, and you see early prototypes. And it's part of a process with us, working with you guys to figure out where the challenge frustration level lies. And I think when I see people speaking in terms of absolutes, I always kind of shake my head because there's always just that one tweak you need, I think, to make something work really, really well. Maybe the weak point needs a little bit larger collision. Maybe when you see a guy with a weak point, you know there's a fucking awesome, juicy reward going to pop out of them when you kill them. So it's all about really trying to just tune that in until when you see one, you see risk and reward at the same time, right?
Totally.
So that's really...
I think having a really cool reward on them would be really satisfying. If I focused and shot, and all of a sudden he'd drop,
Yeah, the idea for these guys that they are going to be challenging, we do want you to change up your gameplay a little bit.
Yeah.
We don't want you to just keep shooting in the same spot until they did.
Yeah.
But like complete invulnerability is always one of those things that we always have a big discussion about it because it's such a hard block.
I think there's a few games
So-
that do like visible armor that gives them like. There's a lot of games that do that mechanic particularly well. So yeah, I mean, this is a prototype at a beautiful room that you put together. You even baked different lighting. But we should do another platinum prize now, and I do think we've reached 3 o'clock because I just saw my Warframe app alert go off to tell me that the Orokin Catalyst is live.
Oh my.
So that's how I know it's 3.
Oh geez, wow.
But yeah, so I think we talked about a lot today.
Can we just show Bard for like 1 second?
Yes. Okay. hold
Please,
on, I have
just
to
go,
back over
please,
there. Okay,
please.
You do the plat prize. I'll go back.
Okay, we'll do the plat prize. All right. If you can do the power cast, just in a room,
All right.
with post on.
I honestly can't.
Turn on the lights.
I'm going to reopen the game. Hold on.
It's going to remember it because you shut it down.
Oh,
it's all checked on. There was just something in the level.
it was something in the level.
Okay.
I honestly, I've had that happen to me before.
How do you say
Balthazar.
that?
Who won, Stevie?
Balthazar?
Stevie the streamer?
Balthazar. Balthazar, you win 1,000 platinum. Thank you for watching us today, and we hope that you watch us in the future. After 2 years, someone did not win. Oh, I'm really sorry. That's awful.
If you guys have anything else you want to say while I'm
back in
waiting
2
to
weeks.
load up?
You're a winner still for watching for 2 years. Maybe not in platinum, but in karma. And good karma from us.
Not yet. No. But
Yep.
post it back.
We have Limbo rework stuff that I know is in progress, but we're not going to show it today. Why not make clan war with the Kingpins? Darn it, I scrolled off too fast. That sounds like a really good idea. We're going to start with the organization first, build on it, get it working, and then get it into the players' hands as soon as possible so that you guys can tell us what you think is interesting and what is not.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at the moment is creating that structure.
Yes.
And
Yep.
the idea here is that it's kind of a unique, personalized story quest, like a custom quest for your clan.
Yep.
Yeah, the light.
You guys get to make decisions, and I mean, the UI hopefully is going to have your emblems all over it. And it's going to have a little event log. I think it's going to be. We're going to try to make it really interesting for small clans and big clans alike.
Okay, so we're not going to tell you what the powers do. I think the sound is working, Dean. Does it?
Okay.
Should be on, yeah.
Okay, but
So is this default? Is this one you made, or what's
this
going
is
on?
default song.
I'm
pretty
this is
sure.
the most wacky thing we've done in a long time.
So that's the first power.
Okay.
But
Okay. Give me some more. Give me some more.
Scott's going to get so mad because he doesn't get to talk about it. But
Give me some more layers, though. I'm feeling this. Oh, I can beat match that.
is it
Guitar
playing
Hero.
music?
No. Okay. Enough energy to do some more. Yeah.
It's beginning to look like a Winamp visualization.
I know, exactly. We've been saying Winamp the whole time. Yeah.
I want to hear it. Can I hear it? Oh my god, that's amazing. Oh my god, this is so exciting.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's awesome.
Yeah. This is this is music that you guys create.
Yeah. Oh, maybe I should make. No, we'll do it next Devstream. We'll do a song.
But the way that this works, the way that it sounds, the visual rhythms that you're seeing, the beat matching that you have to do, this is in your hands. You're going to create your own song if you want, or you can use defaults, customize how it sounds, and then make a dance party. A violent, murderous dance party. It's going to be the most deadly dance party in the world.
It is.
In the Warframe world.
Yes. And I think that brings our stream to an end. I don't know if you guys had any closing remarks you wanted to add, but if not, I can do the routine.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Yeah,
thanks for watching. Thanks for playing
Tom,
Warframe.
Dan, thank you so much for your time. These are just
Thanks for having
a
us.
couple faces of the DE crew that make every dev stream, fun to sit on and tell you guys what everyone's working on. We have a huge team here that is, hugely in love with this game and just wants to bring you more Warframe, and you guys are there playing it. So we thank you. Thank you, DE. Thanks, Dean. Thanks, all our chat mods. Thanks for coming by.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see you next time. And we got a lot of great updates coming for you guys. You're going to love it.
See ya.
Barking at you, always so calm, always in control. She doesn't care about you, Tenno. She doesn't love you, not like I loved the two men.